Hey church family, we're disappointed not to be with you today. Lori and I had hoped to be back this weekend, but per doctor's orders, I'm home resting and healing from my surgery. Just wanted to update you. As far as the doctors can tell, the surgery was as successful as they could have hoped, and everything went well. Now it's just praying that the stem cells will take over and rejuvenate and restore my body to health, and we're praying that God will use them to do that. So join with us in praying for that. And I want to talk about two quick things before you go. Number one, next week we'll be starting a new series called Life is a Circus. And I'm preparing and praying for that series. I'm looking forward to teaching this series. So I'll be back with you next week. I'm asking you to do one thing. Would you invite people who don't know Jesus? As I talk about what it means to join the greatest show on earth, the circus, and we're talking about the local church. It's going to be, I believe, an incredible series. So would you invite people with you next weekend and bring them to the house so that God will change lives and people will meet Him? The last thing I want to talk about is the offering. The offering is an important part of our worship service. It's a way in obedience that we give back to God out of a heart of gratitude financially. It's also how we support the ministries of the local church financially. And so I want to encourage you, would you give faithfully and generously in the offering? I want to thank all those who do regularly. If you haven't made that your habit, I want to encourage you today to begin giving. And we've got a special opportunity this week because I talked about how finances resource the ministry. It takes bucks to do ministry. And one of the ministries that we've supported for the last 2 years is called Edge Church in Aurora, Colorado. It's a church plant by Pastor Ryan Heller and his wife. Incredible growing church, and we've been supporting them financially and with resources and coaching over the last couple of years. But last week, they was in their community, we had that shooting at the movie theater opening of Batman. And they are meeting very near to the theater where that happened. And they've had a tremendous outpouring of inquiry from their community and actually national news covering their church and their church's answer and response to this tragedy. And so I talked to Ryan this week, and they were asking if we could help them financially to prepare some resources. They're adding a third service this weekend, doing a lot of advertising. They're expecting a huge crowd this weekend of people looking for answers. And I know that Pastor Ryan will share the gospel and teach them the truth of God's word and provide answers in this tragedy. So we want to help them. So our hope Monday is to send a check to them for at least $10,000 to help them with their ministry. I want to encourage you, would you give a little over and above what you were planning to give this weekend? If you're planning to give, just give me a little bit more. But if you weren't planning to give, would you make this today that you start being a part of resourcing the growth of God's kingdom? We want to help Edge Church, so would you help us do that by giving today in the offering? And in advance, thank you. You've always been a generous church, and together, if we all give a little, we can make a great impact here in our community and also in communities around the world like Edge Church in Aurora, Colorado. I look forward to being back with you next week as we start Life as a Circus. We'll see you at Palm Valley Church.